Now a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll move.
I will second.
Motion and second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Mr. Martinez, there is one executive session.
President of Board of Education, yes, there is a reason to go into executive session, and it's attorney-client privilege, protect information pertaining to pending or threatening litigation, either the pending or corrupt litigation, and the BJ lawsuit.
Thank you. The recommendation of the superintendent. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Mr. President's motion, do I have a second?
I will second.
Number second, I need to do roll call vote.
Yes. Mr. Ruben Archuleta? Ms. Yolanda M. Salazar? Yes. Ms. Annabelle Almaguer?
Yes.
Mr. Lucas Fresquez?
Yes.
And Mr. Pablo Luna?
Yes. I think for the time is, so we will go into executive session pursuant to NMSA 1970, section 10-15-1H7, applied pertaining to pending litigation. Pending litigation, CJ lawsuit, all decisions will be made in executive session. We will come back and come out of executive session. I need to do roll call.
Yes. Mr. Ruben Archuleta? Ms. Yolanda M. Salazar? Yes. Ms. Annabelle Almaguer?
Yes.
Mr. Lucas Fresquez?
Yes.
And Mr. Pablo Luna?
Yes. I think for the recall, all decisions made in executive session, pursuant to NMSA 1978, section 10-15-187, discuss pending litigation, litigation, lawsuit. Again, no decision was made. For the record, also, I believe it is 6:48 came out. Also, for the record, we charged with Ruben and less than 5. Number 3, in open session.
President of Board of Education, recommend consideration of approval of litigation settlement.
Thank you. For the recommendation of the superintendent, I have a motion. Motion, actually, I didn't do roll call.
Yes. Mr. Ruben Archuleta?
Yes.
Ms. Yolanda M. Salazar? Yes. Ms. Annabelle Almaguer?
Yes.
Mr. Lucas Fresquez?
Yes.
And Mr. Pablo Luna?
Yes. Under discussion, before we move forward, I just want to do some things on the, I want to, just for the sake of time, have the representative to talk about academic field, high school, we can move that to the top.
This time, President of Board of Education, we will move forward with the athletic field at Española Valley High School, and President with us is giving his low amount contracting. If you'll step forward and state your name and your company, you can move forward.
My name is Miles Sanchez. I'm a contractor.
And I'm Jesse with Lomont Contracting.
Or if you guys want to, I'll do it.
We can start passing out some microphones.
Thank you all so much for having us this evening. We have a couple packets here for you. We also have some samples of dirt here as well, and some trash samples. My name is Miles. I'm with the I'm the sales Andy here. Jesse is our general manager. Before coming to Lone Mountain, I was a teacher and athletic director at St. Mary's Catholic School. Very important to me. Joining Lone Mountain is very important to focus on safety and quality of foods. We also have our owner, Mr. Blay, is here tonight. He's mostly retired, but finds it hard to say no to this morning.
All right, I will tell you a little bit about what you have in front of you. Now you have two proposal packets. We're going to go through both of them. They're essentially the same thing, but broken out in two different ways that could best suit the needs of the school. So before we get into much of the proposal, one of the packets, the packet with the bundle proposal, also contains a number of examples of some of our work. I don't know how familiar you all are with the mountain contracting, but we are a 44-year-old company based in Boston, New Mexico. For over the last 10 years, we've been focusing on athletic facilities. We are very proud to say that in these last 10 years, we have never been missed a year of being honored nationally with the Distinguished Facility Award. In 2015, we were honored with the Outstanding Facility in the Nation with Española High School, which as many of you probably know, Mr. Martinez is largely responsible for. And that's in 16, we're up for Outstanding with Española High School. And in 15, we received Outstanding Facility in all the Nation for Ivanhead Stadium over at Santa Cruz. And so we are really excited about those two awards. We're really excited about moving forward and seeing what we can put up in 17 and maybe it can be Española High School. So if you go through some of those photos and take a look at some of the work that we've done, you'll see Camas Valley Athletic Facility is in there. You'll also see our national award-winning Ivanhead Stadium facility. You'll see Escalante High School, and then you'll see a rough rendering of what we would anticipate for Española High School. So those are just some visuals to kind of accompany the thought process on what we have included in the proposal package. In addition to that, there's some additional information about tracks and fields. We're passing around up here some of the specs on the type of turf that we're recommending for this facility, and also a list of some of our past projects and awards, just to kind of let you get a feel for who we are, what we do, how active we've been in New Mexico statewide, particularly in northern New Mexico. If you're ever curious, you can go see our tracks and fields all over Santa Fe, in Taos, and Cuesta, Milwaukee, Camas. We've got fields all over. So, and we'd be happy to give anybody a tour if you're ever. So, I will kind of hand it back to Miles and kind of explain the scope of what we're looking at, and then we will talk a little bit more about the technical portion and the financial portion.
All right, so moving into your 8-lane track, we're going to talk a little bit about the track, how we're going to install the track, benefits to having a brand new track. So you're looking at an 8-lane, brand new 8-lane track here for your school. This is going to ensure plenty of track meets that can happen here, leading to big concessions and lots of fans coming out to watch kids run. Lots of fun for the kids to actually be competing in tracks, being able to hold state qualifying meets, things like that here at your school with a brand new track surface. One of the samples that we sent around is a little box with lots of different colors in it out there. So you see the different colors that we can do the track surface in. And Tessa's going to talk a little bit more about how we're actually going to install.
So we know that the track of Española has a few challenges that need to be addressed. We provided pricing to address just kind of a repair factor. That's not a fix-all, that's just to kind of get you to the next phase. But what we would like to do, what we recommend, is to come in and to let us just demo that track. We have an option there, and you'll notice that at the bottom of the track proposal, where we could try to salvage the existing asphalt below the track surface. We don't recommend that option. We've got it in there in case that's something you want to consider. Given some of the damage from the roots and the trees growing in there, it's not something we'd like to go ahead and pulverize that asphalt, but reuse the asphalt. We want to go ahead and put that back down. Pulverize it, put it back down, and then put down new asphalt over that base, and then of course you would need base mat and rest track. And so, as always, when we build a track, we make it to NFHS standards, and like we're doing with St. Michael's High School in Santa Fe this year, we love to have them done so beautifully that we immediately want them forward. So that's what we could be looking at as we know high school also. So we had, as I was saying, we had some options. So you can take a look at that asphalt overlay. Not something we recommend, but it's something that's in there for your consideration. We have, like Ron said, we have some colors going around that you can choose to do your track with. The black and the red colors are always included in the base price. Sometimes with different colors, we have to get different pricing, but the standard colors are all the same. Just another quick note on our track before we start talking about fields is that's one thing that we get really excited about at Lone Mountain is we are one of the only, if not the only company in the state that actually builds our tracks in-house. Not most people will farm out to company in Texas or California or whatever, and we build our own guys that live here and work here, and we build working tracks, which is pretty exciting for us, number one. And number two, our lead track builder, our director of field operations, has been building tracks in the Southwest for over 30 years. And one of the exciting things for me is I'm almost at the point where I can eyeball his tracks out of anybody else's, just due to the condition area and how well they hold up over time. So I will turn it back to Miles to talk a little bit about them.
All right, moving on to the field. Let's see, you guys are a 5A school, correct? So you need a really good quality turf for your football program. We work with Shaw, in partnership with Shaw Manufacturing out of Florida. They are a Berkshire Hathaway company. They are the best turf manufacturer in the industry. We work exclusively with them to bring you guys quality turf that your athletes can play on. So what you see in your pricing there is top of the line athletic turf. It's going to hold up for many years. Great quality.
Just a few more notes on the turf, and try not to take up too much of your guys' time. I know you have a full agenda. Like Miles was saying, we prefer to work with Shaw Sports Turf because they create a fantastic product. A lot of our running fields are built with Shaw Sports Turf. One of the things that we like about Shaw, and something similar with Lone Mountain, is because they are a very sound company, and they're the ones that provide your 8-year warranty, we know that they're not going to, and we really appreciate that. But sometimes we actually get a fair amount of work from companies or from schools who buy turf from companies that just up and disappear. It's not like that with Shaw. They're here to stay. Same thing with us. They've been here 44 years. We're here to stay also, and we're here to honor warranty. Getting into the turf field, what you have in front of you is priced out what is called the Shaw Legion Pro. The samples that are going around are the Momentum HP, which is the old name for the Shaw Legion HP. And what the difference is going to be on the Pro, and we didn't have a Pro sample here tonight, unfortunately, is it's just going to be a little denser and have some extra microfibers in there to get you that extra wear and tear out. So we gave you an option in that proposal to go with the HP as opposed to the Pro. We do recommend the Pro. It looks great on the field, it plays fantastic, but the HP is also a great product, so you have both options there to consider and to see what you would prefer. We've got a couple of flyers in there that talk a little bit more about our sports turf, and those kind of give you a little bit more idea where we are with one-sphere fields. We like, when it comes to track and field, we love to design those in-house because it's something we know super well. And so you'll see some of the projects that we designed in the presentation packet. And if you have any questions, again, we're always happy to give you more examples, take you to show you the field, or just answer what we can. And so I think the last thing we have on there is lighting.
So we have a pricing there broken out for sports lighting. Kind of drove by the looks like there is some lighting there, but if that is something that you want to upgrade, there is new lighting options out there providing great exposure for your athletes there on those night games, and just to be able to have those when they are out there.
All right, a couple of quick notes on the lighting. What we priced out for you in your lighting proposal is going to be a Musco lighting system. And if you're not familiar with Musco, we will get you some more information. They are pretty much the world's premier sports lighting. A lot of times we get requests for field, and they won't even let us consider anything else. Like it just must go all the way every day. So that's what we gave you guys as your first option. We did include some options for some other more economical sports lighting companies, and those are great also. Because the one note to remember is that with Musco lights, I noticed your existing light poles are put in. We can retrofit those with like Pauline or Teflon. They don't recommend it, and it would really depend on the integrity that's there in the poles. But Musco will not let us retrofit existing wooden poles with Musco lights. But there's some lighting options. We've installed Musco systems, we've installed Pauline systems. We recently installed a Teflon system over at Albuquerque Downs. We just lit up their racetrack. All of those have done really well. We like the Musco system a lot because it's super user friendly for the schools, and they have a router in there that they call and laser it in and set it up for you. It's really handy to use, but we are also aware that sometimes having that kind of stuff isn't a priority when you want to do other stuff to your facility, and so we provided some options there on less expensive manufacturers providing. I believe, now in our original proposal, bundle proposal, we included pricing also on bleachers and press boxes. And I know that to break it out, we didn't need to see the breakout on those. So which we can include those. I believe that Nick said that Española found another contractor for the press box, which is great. So if you'd like to see that, we can definitely take a look at it. Do we have any questions in regard to kind of the layout of the scope of work?
That's our only field for high school. I guess that's a huge investment to make, cost a lot of money. But check that in terms of practice, most of the schools, I guess, practice on those fields, if they have a perimeter field, or they'll use that for game day.
It varies school to school. We see there's some schools that have, like at Santa Fe Iconhead, they do have a separate practice field. By and large, most schools we see use their same field to practice on. Most schools, generally don't have the facility or the budget to have turf football fields. That being said, when we go around and look at some of these fields that see both practice and play on them, they hold up pretty well. And especially when you have a maintenance, and kind of from what we've seen on a lot of the stuff that Española schools are doing, when you have a maintenance program that's really staying on top of everything you need to do to keep up with your turf, you're keeping stuff off the field that shouldn't be on the field, you're keeping up with your groomings, you're having your annual grooming, adding a little bit of rubber infill, it really goes a long way. And just kind of as an example, we're working with Las Vegas Schools, who is, their field is roughly the same age as Cuesta, schools. And you wouldn't even know that we're listed, put it at the same time at all. We didn't do the original announcements. We did the original in Questa. And now also sees more play than Questa does, because they have football, soccer, they're just on it constantly. So that accounts for a little more of the wear and tear. But when you put in a quality system up front like Shaw, and you keep up with the maintenance, it goes a long way. It stands up to a lot more hours of play.
My next question is on time maintenance. Do you work with our staff in order to develop a maintenance program, something that we could have, have that checklist to make sure that we're maintaining it correctly?
Absolutely. One of the things we do when we finish up the turf field is conduct trainings, depending on how much time the facility managers and maintenance people have, anywhere from a couple hours to a half a day, talking about what needs to be done, what kind of equipment they should have. We usually leave them with a little kit and some checklists, because one of the things that is important to protect your warranty is making sure that that maintenance is logged. And so we come through and make sure and train everybody on how to log it properly, so that if there's ever an issue with the turf, and Shaw's really great about that, and you go to them and say, these are my logs, this is my issue, they get somebody out, and a lot of times they send us, they just depend on what they're doing, really quickly.
And I saw the design, is that just culinary or?
Yeah, that's just a road.
That's the colors and.
Yeah, the color wheel that was running around represents a majority of colors we can do on there, but really there's, you let us know what you want, and we can usually get pretty close to producing it or exactly.
And does that affect the cost, like, before, let's say, just the info?
Sometimes the end zones and logos have, if it's just a solid color change, it doesn't. If it's a separate logo, sometimes it will. And it just kind of depends on what it does and how much detail work is involved in producing whatever it is you're asking. But we can, we can go through the process, get everybody's feedback, and see what we can come up with.
Quick question, what's the health hazard of this field? We wanted to put out an article a year ago, about goalies had a risk cancer. Has there been any?
We have asked that question a lot, because one of our concerns is we want to make sure that our fields are safe. We all have kids, grandkids, nieces, and nephews playing on our fields. So from what my understanding is now, that Shaw Sports Turf in conjunction with some research facilities has conducted, and actually created the safety council, synthetic turf safety council, that's it, has conducted exhaustive research on what the impact of the rubber particles are. To their knowledge, they cannot at this point find a connection. That being said, what they have tested on is the rubber particles that have been sourced from American tires, which is what we put in Shaw Fields. And so they don't know if it's a difference in the tires, if it's tires from Brazil or China or wherever, if that becomes a difference. But everything that's gone through their testing process so far has been needed.
We also do offer, if that is an issue, the rubber infill, we do offer a geofill as well, which will change the price a little bit. That's an all natural infill. It is not rubber at all.
Board member, Chief Justice, what do you call it?
Board of Ed. You reviewed the site, so the footprint is fine, you figured it out. And the other thing is, if you have to evaluate the track and it's still at 100 being the best, one being the worst, or it's non-existent, where do you practice now? I will be consulted if it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
That's kind of a tough question because we've seen some real beat up tracks lately, but we've also seen some great tracks. I would kind of go probably somewhere in a 4 to a 6 because there's not a lot of actual tripping hazards yet that are severe. but it's a problem that's growing every day. So, when that really becomes a huge hazard, I couldn't tell you, but, that would probably be my biggest concern. And so, there's actually some general, cracking, seams, and stuff we see a lot of times, and what really kind of gets in there is those potential hazard spots.
So I have a question. So then we have a lot of sand and dirt in that here. And I mean, blows like crazy out there. I mean, is that gonna be an issue? Location, the place where it's at?
What we recommend is, doing a lot of windscreen protection around the track. You're talking about the dirt ground.
Oh, yeah, because it does gather.
Windscreens can help a lot with that. Windscreens, to put a windscreen around the entire thing, it helps a lot to keep the dirt out of the track. Also with your regular maintenance, filming, be able to help out, keep a lot of that off.
I mean, it's just one of those things that's just throwing, you have to practice policies and, you know, it's just, I mean, it blows, but it's just, it's dark. It is, yeah.
The other question I have is, if you on the site, if you had looked at all at the electrical to see if it would support any of these systems that would be put in.
I did. I wasn't sure the, kind of where the school was at on electrical. I'm not an electrical savant myself, so what I would want to do with that is, get one of our preferred electricians out to evaluate it more closely than I would. And we can have that done, if that's something that there's interest in, have that done right away. If there isn't any more questions, I can touch a little bit on some of the financing options we have, and then we can get out of here for the evening. All right, one thing that we have elected to provide with this proposal, and there's a sheet in there about it, is a financing option. This is something that we have started within the last few years to kind of help bridge the gap between a school needing something and a school having the ability to fund it. It's not something we offer all the time, but it is something that we offer in cases, particularly when we know, there's a facility that needs repair or needs help right away, and that within, a period of time, the school's going to be able to fund the remainder of the work. So what we have included on the LMC financing page is just kind of a brief overview of what our financing package will look at. A lot of it is really flexible, and it's going to depend on what the school has available and what the needs of the school are. There are some areas where we need to be able to cover a certain amount of materials or get the job started or so forth. But there are some areas where we are able to finance it out for the schools. So we have kind of a rough plan there. That, like I said, there's a number of items that are flexible depending on the needs of the school. And I know this is something that's not done a whole lot, so feel free to take a look at it, ask us questions if you need to call us back and ask us questions. That's one of the reasons that Nick came with us tonight. He's the final word on the financing option, so we want to have him available for any questions. And moreover, when it comes to looking at something like this, we know there's a lot of variables, so we're happy to kind of sit and look at it and do what we can to make it fit you.
So I got a question. I'm assuming it's a type of, I know you guys don't make money from this. You guys now on the paperwork, down payment, $150,000, annual payment, $380,000.
Yes. And again, it's one of the things that can be adjusted. So that's based on, I believe, a 7-year amortization. So if we were to amortize it at a different period of time, that number would change. And just the other quick note is the project total that we use for an example in the financing page is the project total on the bundled proposal. We can adjust that number also depending on what the school ultimately chooses to go with. that's for the bundle proposal that has the track, the field, the bleachers, and the press box. That one did not have the lighting. We can show you another, and this is, take some time to decide how you want to see it, and we can bundle it any way you want. When we get into multiple mobilizations, your cost does increase a little bit. When we have it under one contract, it saves a little bit. So that tends to help, but let us know if you want to see the track, field, and lighting, if you just want to see the track and field, however you want to see that. One thing that is kind of a note to think about is our summer schedule and our spring schedule get really jam-packed. So if you want to kind of get a jump on some of that, the sooner you let us know, the more flexible we'll be able to keep you compensated on that. It would depend on the scope of work that they ultimately went with. So let's say for a track start to finish, and assuming that the school went with pulverizing the asphalt and putting it back, you're probably looking at about 90 to 120 days. We like to do it in less, but we don't want to overshoot on that. For a field, probably the same thing. When you're doing them concurrently, we're going to have to take a look at how that stretches out or not, and what else is involved. And one of the things that we'll submit once we receive notice is just kind of line out what we're looking at schedule-wise, and see how that fits with the school schedule.
So it'd be, technically be ready for next school.
If we started,
To be about 6-9 months a year.
I would say,
Yeah, that's
if we're self-performed, most of it's 4 to 6 at the outer end. Now, sometimes schools ask us, hey, we can get this done in a hurry for whatever reason, and we can price it out to do it in a shorter time. Okay.
There's a winter hold like that.
In Española, the winter may hold up some of the track surface, and I think that's probably about it. We can't really put down track surface when it's below 40.
We managed that, this project over here, remember?
And by the way, you guys do great work. You guys do high school. I mean, our junior high school. High school. Just not working. Board members, do you have any additional questions for Roma? Thank you for your presentation. Is there any additional things you want to add?
Not at the moment. Feel free to call us back or to our contact information is in all the packets. You're welcome to call or email if anything else. Thank you.
Thanks.
No, I believe we're in a good place. I think the idea that came out of the last board meeting, discussion on the football field and a few questions stimulated this process so that we can get Española High School up to par with the rest of the state and its facilities in need of a track. So we know we're going to be spending $500,000 to replace that track anyhow. So the timing is good to move forward and explore this project. So the project worked good.
Is there any questions? I personally would like to see moving forward with it, see what the different options are, what's available, funding wise. I don't know if that would be available, exact numbers, I don't know offhand. Business office and facilities. See if those especially with the option plan. Are you lucrative, trying to get this going? We'll move on to the next, elementary.
What about the school board and out of government?
update, on where we're at with Active Elementary School, on the renovation. Where we're at right now, PSR, building system analysis report, 95% completed was presented to the board and approved. Comments were made, both by PSFA and by the district, and were returned to John Martin Architects, on 9/16, sorry. John Martin has 2 weeks to make the changes as per the comments, and upload 100% completion to e-builder. He's 1 week into it, there's 2 weeks to approve that. So we have 1 more week. The next step after that would be district would go back to the PSCOC to apply for the next step, which is the design phase, design appropriation money. Once we get approved for that, what we can do is we'll go out to RFP for the architectural services for the project. So that's where we stand right now. That's what we started on that project. Questions?
My question is, with this, we have to present this at PSF at their monthly meeting, or can we just submit a letter saying we're ready to go off our?
It'll be at the monthly meeting.
What's that?
It'll be at the monthly meeting, presented at the monthly meeting.
So move forward, can we submit to them that to be on their November meeting?
If we get everything that John Martin follows, this timeline, which is, one week to upload, even, I can give him a call, because we're gonna meet that timeline, request the PSCOC based on the agenda for the.
Because I know you have a cutoff date, right, on their agenda.
But because of the rules, I think we'll make a phone call tomorrow and see what the deadline is for the November meeting. I will also reach out to John Martin and see where it's at. Timeline. From there, request to be placed on the PSCOC agenda for the next step.
That's all, no question on that. Well, you have any questions? No questions?
Depending on for education, I do have a question. With the short penalties and the next to state tax base legislature, how does this impact this particular project?
Being that this project, being that this project is already in the works, has been moving forward, money is already allocated to this project, so it's already attached to this project, so we should have probably moving forward.
Any other questions? I'm sure the same going to see for the rest of the afternoon, so we want to, if there are there.
An update for the Arctic project. Right now, we the district want to move forward with this project. First step would be to request PE to remove the school closure request that was submitted to them a while back. Once that request to remove the school closure would be, once it was removed, the next step would be district decide the project, to approve the project and move forward. We decide to move forward with this project. One of the steps, next step would be that we will also need to go back to PSCOC and inform them that we want to restart and revamp this project. PSCOC has moved the project appropriation of approximately 2 years out due to the non-decision of the district and then the budget shortfalls. So this falls as far as being that the project was shelved for a while. We would have to go back, ask them for the money, and then they would give us some time on when that money would be available. Being that some of the money is not this money in the project, but some money is again being used for other projects that have started. So the money is there. After that, the district and FBT, which was the architect of this project, would start the discussion of the student enrollment and what the standards are currently. At that point, we would discuss the renovation of the existing building system. I think that's what we're going to look at, doing the renovation. Back when this project was designed, there was some additions that were going to be included in this project. I don't think that was based off about 140 students. We'd have to go back and enroll it now and see if that project is warranted for the addition. Once we do that, we would wait for the PSUOC to approve the monies. So if there's any work or any progress that needs to be done or started on this project, we would have the available 60% of the state to start making any changes or any part of this project. So that's where we're at with the market right now.
So if you are approved to move forward, then what does it mean the project only that the road planning, have an architect, there's a contractor, there's the board of the stop doing the fact, or it was board of it was approved. And we do have a project plan. What happens to all that?
We'd have to start again, the architect and the construction designs, the plans, those would be able to be redesigned if there's any changes. But as far as the project manager and contractor goes, this is according to PSFA, we would have to bid it and back up to bid just so the project's been on so long that there's been fluctuation in pricing. So it would be hard for the contractor at the time that bid on this project and was going to be awarded truth with prices.
One of the other variables, the size of the school that was designed initially, it was designed for about 150 students, and now our enrollment is significantly lower. So that design is likely change to meet the needs of the present student body and staff at the school.
That's what we really look at comparison to the last 6 months, days,
It'll be an average, but it is still significantly low. Yes. Mr. Corvo, Mr. Lujan, President Lujan, Board of Education, I think just to clarify this a little bit more, there's a process when you approve a project, that the project has been approved. However, there was some other requests by the PSFA, and we can, the recommendation of the board is on Wednesday to move forward. We can go forward with this project. But just to clarify, the first step is the approval of the project. The second step is to move forward with the assessments of the particular school. That's completed. The third step is to go out to RFP for design services. That's been completed, correct? That will have to be modified due to the size and the expenses and those other things. But that particular step has been completed. The third step, which has not been completed, typically goes through that process. And that's the selection of the bid process, right? The bid process, the next step, for services, and that will have to be done, right? That'll be part of that bid process. So structure manager, and that's a very good idea. So then the last step would be the structure. And each one of those phases is funded directly. So one of the things that has come up is funding and loss. The funding has never been awarded because we didn't complete those other steps, and they are awarded as we go along, correct?
Correct. Right now, we've used some of the funding some of the steps have been approved by the authority. We're not right now at full amount, so, for the time being, until the north sides starts to move forward. Once it moves forward, then we'll reallocate the money, on the side, what the timeline is for that, and then move forward is the next steps.
So, because my mail, so we're gonna have to go back and look at the scope of work and possibly modify those plans again.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be subject back to paper.
That's correct, and I've been in contact, with FPT, with Gold, and some to go. And we will have to come back to the table and look at, get enrollment and the needs of the schools. And then go from there. Of course, the building systems, regardless, besides the school or those district, those building systems needed to be renovated regardless. Keeping cool, roof, windows, exterior doors, all of that, all that would be, would stay the same. As far as the scope of work goes, as far as any additions, there was a small addition, or medium-sized addition, the original suite, something to that effect, to our classrooms. That's where we would have to sit down and reevaluate and look at the size of the school, look at the actual needs, what the enrollment, how it's grown, what the current is, and what we project out. I think from there, that's where we would make the decision, decision as far as what the school would work, would be.
And I guess my concern is, if we're looking at enrollment, all they using that one, that one is about two. So I think to go out and do school and, you know, say, almost 100 kids, then get more kids. I always like to know what the initial figure was. I think it was 150, so 175. I heard at one time.
What was that, 160? It was right within that area. I don't have the exact number.
I don't know if we want to, because is the state going to make us say, hey, that's what the moment you can't go through the project as initially.
And looking at the addition, and looking at the plans, I personally don't think that the state was an issue.
I don't think there was, I think what they questioned is if you're adding, when you're going above and beyond.
Above that.
Above that.
Because that's where the state.
That's what the SMART says, now we can say, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. But I don't think that, with, even if we assume, say with the original project, that they would tell us, no, you can't do that, because that's not what you're going for. That's just my personal, dealing with what I've seen is done in the past, with that.
As long as we build to adequacy, anything above adequacy, and that's, and again, that's where if we look at the enrollment, and we see what the numbers are, again, that's where they wouldn't have, I believe that the state wouldn't have that much addition, because we would be building to adequacy, there would be savings, all around versus overbuilding the project and overestimating and having to keep, maintain a larger facility for residents. So I believe that I think if we do revise this project, we'll go back to the drawing board as far as adequacy standards go and what the enrollment is. I believe that we'll be correct and we'll be able to renovate this.
President, my board of education, I believe that this is a good project, that whatever's happened has happened, and that we're going to move on and move forward with the renovations, that they have a lot of things in place, and it's not going to take as long. We will have to probably have the standards, but I believe it's time, put a lot of effort, time out there, and I believe that those kids and those teachers that they deserve the school has been renovated. They deserve the best.
I think yes, so I think it's already on Wednesday's agenda for. And I definitely, it was just want to come forward, explain exactly what we're doing. I know there was some answers he didn't know, the project that they built was long, but I think we've answered all those questions today. Again, if you tomorrow, additional questions, the board decides, the board. Move on to central office.
Just a quick update on central office project. We have a project and the vendors were brought to the board, presented and we have a group, project, the designer and the contract. On 9/13, we did receive a quote and issued a purchase order for the surveyor. That's the survey on this piece of property. Also, the geotechnical proposals, we received them also on 13. On the process of reviewing and selecting this vendor, we have 3 vendors that gave us submitted proposals. So we are reviewing that. Once we get the surveyor on site, we will move forward with the geotechnical work. General contractor right now is working with the architect on the design. Purchase order has been issued to the designer. Once the design is at 95%, we'll place the general contractor's agreement in place. The general contractor can commence construction. We have a meeting scheduled tomorrow with our building committee at 2:15 with FBT Architects. That's where we're at right now in the central office. Moving forward, again, it takes time as the business design, the blueprints, meeting with the design team, making sure that we actually are building to our needs, so not underbuilding, meeting with the directors, making sure that there's no storage, all of that, for the staff, and everything like that. So I think we have a good team in place. I think we have the architect and contractor on board. That will be the discussion
So we're still gonna be shooting at a April, May.
We're still looking at that. We're still shooting for that. As presented before, we had the construction calendar. So far, we have started that. We are on schedule for the exemptions. We are moving forward. There's any changes, which, just so.
Board members, guys have any questions? We want to have a lot of questions.
Just touching base real quick. Capital upgrade projects that we talked about. There was security, fencing, and asphalt. So we talked about as far as capital upgrade projects. And then we have businesses talked about that also in school. This right here, just to make sure that we're moving forward with the decisions. So we're seeking from legislation. Capital projects, just making sure that it's important, you guys have to come up with any other ideas or anything that has changed from what we set for one set. So that was just the security assistance, fencing at the VHS high school, and we had talked just about some asphalt paving. One of the other options that we had with asphalt was maybe setting up a meeting with the county. I know I had followed up with the city about that to see if there was any way that they would help us equipment, some type of trade, they would help us with some type of asphalt paving. When I reached out to them back about a year and a half ago, they really didn't want to commit to it. So I think that maybe reach out to the county, maybe buy some equipment, purchase some material, whether it's equipment, something of that nature. I think we came up with a not this February, but February before, we did receive $27,000 from the NFDOT. We did use that fund at the high school. We did apply this last February. We did not receive any. We do not have an application. Again, with the shortfalls, but we do continue to allow this application for assistance.
Mr. Cordova, I just want to clarify, we're on the same page here. The alternative high school, that's not capital outlay project, that's the legislation, correct?
That was the,
Yeah, I just want to make sure we understand that, so ask our lawmakers exactly what we're asking for in terms of capital outlay, the alternative high school, that's going to be pursued through legislation. I just want to reiterate that.
Mr. President, thank you for the clarification. I'm sorry that I misspoke on that, but I know that they talked about it as a whole. I guess you're correct, there was two different, I misspoke.
No, I just want to clarify this right here. Thank you.
I don't think harmonics is here, so I think we'll just push this, we need that for another time, or when they can come in front of us, give us a full update. I know you can probably give us a little update of what's going on. That's where that update comes from. Just to recap, Mr. Martinez, recap the approval for tomorrow for the guard moving forward. For their, Wednesday, I'm sorry. We do the following plan project. I would like to see when you can sit with Prime Minister McGill and whoever else the activities happening, monitor of our football field and see what comes up with those business there. And I would like to get down and that as soon as possible. Central office, you know what's going on. That's the project, that's it. Announcements, we have a regular board meeting September 21st. Here, at the Carlos Escamillos, our 30-hour movement program. You come on, please. There's a motion about second. And the second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, motion carries. The meeting is 7:45.